Right now, as it stands, a couple of very interesting things are happening for crypto, with one specific thing happening somewhere later tonight that I think y'all should pay attention to, especially if you're trading crypto. But before I get into that event, let's just quickly take a look at what's going on in the background. One very specific and very interesting thing, in my opinion, was the fact that BlackRock just got themselves about $2 billion worth of Bitcoin over the last 5 days. And actually, as even more of a flex, just specifically in the last day alone, they got themselves a whopping, astonishing $741 million worth of Bitcoin. Again, that is just one trading day. One day, 740 million. And I've addressed on multiple occasions the amount of Bitcoin being bought by singular institutions. I know that they are buying it on behalf of clients, but remember that usually when it enters these institutional environments, it doesn't disperse no more. It stays within that circle. And the good part is that increases the scarcity effect around Bitcoin. There will only be 21 million coins ever. And if these guys are buying up ultimately 3 million of those coins, for example, and companies like MicroStrategy now own 2%, and then let's just say 30% is lost forever, the supply will get smaller and smaller, ultimately price go up. It is really quite staggering though when you start looking at the numbers, the amount of money that's been coming into the BlackRock ETF, just how much they've been stacking it up. And the outflows have been extremely minimal, with, again, the last month here at least, there being not a single day of outflows, and the worst being about $69 million out, with the best being, I guess, 1.1 billion in. But generally speaking, just massive pluses throughout the day. A couple of companies have been going out yesterday, making the total only 500 million in. But take a look at those numbers, what comes in every single day. And you're thinking of selling here, huh? How crazy. By the way, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button in this video if you've got nothing to lose. Well, as you've got nothing to lose, I wanted to say. Now, let's quickly talk about two additional things that are coming up really shortly here that I think y'all should pay attention to. Number one is the FOMC meeting later today. Right? They're going to be deciding the United States interest rate, previous 4.75, expected forecast for, the recent period here, 4.5% for the interest rate. Obviously, it's going to be 11 p.m. Dubai time. Calculate for yourself what time it's going to be from right now. It's about 4 or 5 hours or something like that. Every single time this event happens, usually the prices are quite volatile around it. So if you're trading, some people think it's better to close their positions slightly before all this or around the events. Some people are just going to open them in the preparation for whatever's going to be announced. Again, sometimes the numbers deviate from whatever they are forecasted to get to, but then again, in this case here, I don't think it's going to deviate. It doesn't really make sense. A lot of people have been stating that this is the most important FOMC meeting of the year. Obviously, because it's basically the last before Trump comes into office. As Trump will be taking office, I believe the inauguration is, I think, the 20th of January. And the next FOMC meeting is going to be the 31st of, let's see. Yeah, probably around that mark. Let's see for 2025, the 28th, 29th of January. So whatever we got right here, this is going to be our last of the year. And obviously also of the cycle, politically wise. Anyway, to get into another point, because I said there's multiple interesting things. You know that Trump, even though he's not into office, we've been speculating that he's going to do some cool things like, for example, bringing up a Bitcoin reserve of sorts, right? We've been talking about him doing some cool stuff in that regard. But did I tell you that another very interesting thing, but again, I got multiple things to talk about here that are bullish, even for altcoins. Did I tell you that Crypto.com met with Trump? Well, they did. Crypto.com is a very popular crypto exchange, and Crypto.com is a company also that has sued the SEC a while back. But what have they done? Well, we know two things. One is that I believe Gary Gensler is leaving office inauguration day. I believe it's January 20th, maybe 22nd, something like that. And at the same time, these guys at Crypto.com, they're dropping their lawsuit against the SEC following a meeting between Trump and the CEO of Crypto.com. Now, that to me is quite peculiar. I wonder what they discussed, but more importantly, it's probably about the idea that they're going to pull their lawsuit back based on the fact that the SEC is going to revamp as Gary Gensler goes out, etc. And Trump's going to be more pro-crypto, so there's no need to sue him. But I've kind of been thinking about what this means for example, the Ripple lawsuit. A lot of people have said, yeah, they're going to take the lawsuit back. Seeing this here, perhaps that really might be what's up and coming next. The SEC taking back their appeal not going through with it, because otherwise why would Crypto.com withdraw out of it just after meeting with Trump? Right? At least I've been thinking about it like that. It's been an interesting one here. But to continue on the train, because there's not just one singular thing that's happening right now. We've also got ourselves another big couple of announcements for about 2 weeks from now. And I already covered it partially, but I think a lot of people missed just how crucial, critical, and amazingly bullish this will be for our crypto coins. So the long story short is that FTX is going to be repaying its customers, or how do you call them? Like it's whatever. It's going to pay out for their bankruptcy over the next 2 weeks. So they have announced January 3rd to be the date that a lot of people will get their money back, or at least from that date. The platform will facilitate bankruptcy payouts using stablecoins. And the more important thing being that this is not a matter of FTX having to sell coins right now to be able to pay people back. They did that a while ago, right? They sold Solana at the bottom. But now, a lot of people that had crypto on there going to be getting some dollars back. Many of those can either decide to, hey, I'm going to take my hands out of the crypto game. I'm going to keep this money. But on the opposite side, a lot of people will want to buy more crypto once they get a nice little deposit. Because ultimately, you got to understand, they're distributing like billions of dollars, right? Starting, I believe, from January 3rd, they're going to start the plan. It might take another 60 days or so for people to actually get their money. But the idea is that billions of dollars are going to be given back to people here. They might buy a ton of freaking crypto with that. Pretty huge if you ask me. I will say one more thing that's happening right now. As it currently stands, Bitcoin is breaking down at 104,000. Ethereum back down to 38 something, right? Not looking too amazing, many might say, but the opposite side of the story is that altcoins right now are consolidating. We're seeing perhaps the start of a next move. I'm hoping it's going to be towards the upside. If it goes back towards the downside, if we break towards the bottom of about $1 trillion for the altcoin market without Ethereum, maybe some negative times are to come still on the short term. As I've stated before, though, generally speaking, I am still extremely bullish on the crypto space and the fact that we were able to go to $106,000 per Bitcoin. It just took all my worries away. And the worries was mostly, is the run going to take many, many more months to fully develop? Or is it here, basically? And now I really do fully believe it's here. It might be some troubled times in the midst, but we know the general direction of the crypto market. At least I feel as if the direction primarily is going to be upwards from here. And so I'm going to be actively, like I've done for a while here, be buying every single dip. By the way, guys, if you also want to trade crypto, I've got a couple of links down below to either Blowfin or WeX. You can use either of these and make sure you press that like button, by the way, if you've not done that just quite yet. That's because they've got no KYC. You can use them to trade on. And today's been an interesting day, man, in terms of trades. Like XRP completely reversed the last few hours as Bitcoin decided to fall down and Ethereum decided to fall down. Just take a look at that, right? This is the 4-hour candle a couple hours ago, and this is it now. It just completely reversed all the gains that we saw after bouncing from about the $2.50 bottom with XRP here. Came all the way back up and fell right back down, but it's okay. I mean, I just bought the dip again somewhere. I don't actually know what my order was at, but as you saw a little while back, I just put different buy orders in. Even right now, if we decide to fall back down more, I will probably just buy some more XRP here again. If we, for example, are able to go back to like $2.30 or something like that, $2.32, who knows? Why? For the most part, because I don't believe the bull run is over. I believe prices will go higher than they are right now. And that might mean that in the short term, my trades look a little bit bad, but I think over a few weeks or months, we'll look back and think, oh, that was very much worth it. And I'll make another video about exactly that. I literally think it's time to start making people realize that this is such a golden opportunity. Because I think many people watch these videos thinking, oh, I've got all the time in the world. Oh, I've got to really time things perfectly, or maybe I'm going to lose my... In reality, I think the moment that we're in right now, this period of time here, we are so incredibly lucky to be in. And if I think back of the 2021 run and the 2017 run, this is the time where you make the most amount of money by mostly being either locked in or ignoring everything. It's either of the two. And number one, I'll talk about it later in depth in a video, but number one is you go fully for it. You download a few apps, you don't go on vacations, you don't go out, you sit there, you focus for like 4 months, maybe 6 months, and you are a couple levels above where you were right now. Number two is you don't do anything. You don't touch your crypto. All you do is you look if it's down a lot, and if it is, you buy. That's it. That also works. The reason I'm saying it's either of those two is with number one, you're so locked in that you see everything as an opportunity. With number two is you're not afraid because you're only paying attention to if things go down a lot and then you're buying some more. Just don't sell for at least another few months. not financial advice. These are my thoughts. But I think many people will shoot themselves in the foot basically by either selling too early or being fearful and selling when things go down, when ultimately it should be the opposite. But I've been in crypto for a long time. I understand it's hard. Even I sometimes look at the trades or look at the portfolio and think, oh, should I just start selling something? But generally speaking, in hindsight, there could have been moments where it would have been better to sell and buy back, right? There always will be. But in hindsight, I think the best strategy is just to ignore all that, ignore all the chances, and take almost certainty over the chance by just persevering, just holding through, as ultimately I believe that's the best tactic. But that's just me though. Anyway, I'll talk about that more in depth very, very soon here. If you enjoyed the videos, make sure you press the like button. Why not? And a lot of cool stuff is coming up. Some things are already starting today, but yeah, I'm so excited for the bull market, man. It's good stuff. So you'll see. If you haven't felt it yet, you'll see very soon.